Hello Math 1314 students, welcome back. Previously we went through example 1.2 and example 1.3. And of course, don't forget the basic strategy. Number 1, denominators. Number 2, parentheses. Number 3, like terms. 1.2 problems had only like terms. 1.3 problems had parentheses to begin with. Now let's consider the problems that we have to start from step 1. Okay, here are a couple of problems. Let's begin with this one here. And we have fractions, so a little bit bigger font will be helpful. And let's put some space in between. So, step 1, denominators. So that's what we are going to do first. Do not take common denominators to simplify fractions and do this kind of computation. Yes, it'll work. It'll just make the problem much harder than it is supposed to. Follow this scheme. Step 1 is to take care of all those denominators. Look at the denominators, 5, 6, and 2. Find out the least common multiple of those, or at least simple common multiple of those, and multiply that number to kill off all the denominators all at once. What do you want to multiply here? 30? Did you get it? Well, you can use some prime factorization of things, but that's sort of overkilling. Start multiplying some numbers. 5 times 2 is 10, but that's not divisible by 6. 6 times 2 is 12, that's not divisible by 5. 5 times 6 is the next smallest, and the 30, that's divisible by 2, so 30 works. In other words, yeah, that's the original problem. And then here, bigger font, and then multiply by 30. And then one more fraction here, multiply by 30. And that's going to take care of all those denominators. Does everything look good? So 30 divided by 5, 30 divided by 6, 30 divided by 2. Looks like everything will work. Not so fast. I forgot one. I have to multiply 30 to this guy as well. Remember, I have to distribute 30 to all the entries, including the integer term. So 30 times 1, of course nobody will write like this. Everybody will simply write as 30, but still, don't forget the integer term. You have to multiply same thing to each term. Now I've seen some students multiplying different numbers, and of course that's not going to give you any credit at all, automatic 0. I've saw some students forgetting this integer term. That's not too bad. 10-point problem, that kind of thing will be -2 or -3. It's bigger than just silly computation mistake, but it's not completely detrimental. Alright, what do you do next? Now, what I've seen from many students is, now that we have this multiplication, multiply up the numerator, but that's going to the second step before even completing the first step, so that's not good. Remember, the purpose of all this LCD business, the least common denominator business, is to remove the denominators. So we have to do that first. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So 6, 3 plus 2y. Now 30 divided by 6 is 5, so 5 times 4y plus 1. I hate this automatic suggestion. And then 30 divided by 2 is 15, and then 2 plus y. So we are finally done with step 1, and then we can move on to step 2. Make sense? Why did it multiply by 30? That's the least common denominator. We did that to kill off the denominators. That was the purpose. Don't forget the purpose. you have to indeed remove all the denominators. And then you can move on to step 2. Let's go ahead and break the parentheses. Let's see, 6 times 3 is 18. And then 6 times 2, 12y. 5 times 4, 20y. And then minus 5. And don't forget to distribute properly. Negative 5 times 4, that's negative 20y. Negative 5 times the positive 1 is negative 5, like that. And then negative 15 times 2, so that's 30. And then negative 15y. Does it look good now? Please check. Okay, what kind of simplification do you have left? Like terms. Alright, let's take like terms together. Let's see, 18 minus 5, that's 13. 12 minus 20, that's 8y. 30 minus 30 is 0, nothing there, and then we have 15y. What do you think? Does it look satisfactory? Okay, alright. Flip all the y terms to the right hand side. We already have 13 here, so let's go ahead and do that. 13 is flip negative 8 to the other side, so negative 15 plus 8y, so this is negative 7y. Yeah, 15 minus 8 is 7, but negatives dominate, so we're gonna get y is 13 over 7. Should be negative of that. What do you think? Is that right? I don't know. In these 3 steps, so many numerical computations took place, and I used mental math only, so I'm not really trusting myself. Oh, negative 13 over 7 is correct, so no problem here. Everything here is right. I don't need this one anymore. Let's go back to the answer key here, and everything is clearly visible. All the equalities are completely aligned. All looks good. So, step 1, denominator, done. Step 2, parentheses, done. Step 3, like terms, on, and finally the final division. So, 1, 2, 3, remember, number 1, denominators, number 2, parentheses, number 3, like terms. Once you forget this, suddenly math becomes really hard. Enough time for one more? I hope so. Okay, let's put some space in between. And let's do it. Stop the playback and do it on your own first. First, find out the LCD, the least common denominator, and then kill off the denominators. And after that, if you still have some energy, go ahead and break up the parentheses, and then to like terms. Done. Completed. Okay, let's come back to here, and then, copy and paste. And then, let's work out the LCD. What do you multiply? I think you can multiply 30. Again, the same thing. You can multiply 3 times 10 times 15 for a surefire common denominator, but that's an overkilling. Just 3 times 10 will do. 30, that's divisible by 15. So by some strange coincidence, I end up with the same common denominator as before. And aren't you missing something? Yes, we need multiplication for each and every term. So 30 times 2, one tends to forget, but please don't. Everything, not just fraction terms, but integer terms as well. Okay, let's go ahead and simplify this. do not break up the parentheses. The purpose is to kill off the denominators first. So what do we have? 30 divided by 3, 10. And 30 divided by 10, 3, 2z minus 3. And then 60. And 30 divided by 15 is 2. 3 minus 2z. So we have a simplified version now. No more denominator. So let's go to step 2. Break up parentheses. First parenthesis is easy to break because there's no negatives flying around. This one requires a bit of a thinking. Negative 3 times 2z, so there's negative 6z. And then negative 3 times negative 3, so that's positive 9. See that? 60. And then distribute this negative 2. Negative 2 times 3, that's negative 6. And then negative 2 times negative 2z, that's positive 4z. Okay, no more parentheses either. Just like terms, and let's work out like terms. In the left hand side, 10 plus 9, so 19. And 40z minus 6z, 34z. In the right hand side, 60 minus 6, 54. Looks like that's what I got. Did I do this right? I don't know. Frankly, I'm not so sure because I'm using mental math. If you're doing this, don't forget to use calculators to check. Alright, let's take z term. 34z minus 4z, 30z. And 54 minus 19, and that is 35. Is that right? So dividing by 5, 7z is 5. Z is 5 over 7. Yes, you can go ahead 35 over 30 and then simplify it with the help of calculator, and you can answer 7/5. What am I doing? 7/6. I hope I did it right. 7/6 is right. So okay, I don't need any of these. Here we have the full solution. All the equalities are aligned, easy to see. And here we have 35 divided by 30 because I have to divide away 30. And that simplifies it to 7/6 because both 35 and 30 are divisible by 5. So 1.4 done, and we have a bit more example here, and looks like these are on a different dimension. So it looks like we'd better do this in a separate video. Okay, that's what we are gonna do. See you soon in a separate video.